The Worst Equestrian Necromancer, Chapter 9, Bonus Chapter, Trixie Ponies. It had taken months. Plans on top of plans, more books than seems possible, and in one odd instance, a gallon of maple syrup and a good cry. But it had all been worth it. The great and powerful Trixie had finally learned the necessary ritual to summon a powerful spellcaster to be her mentor. Had she been a lesser mare, she might have worried about the battle of wills that was sure to occur so she could prove herself worthy of the spirit's teachings, but she was far too great for such simple matters. She was sitting calmly as she finished the summoning circle, blocking all forms of magic from entering and leaving. Then without a word she cast the spell, pulling one of the greatest magicians of Equestria into her home. A deep black cloud appeared within the circle, as the chalk writing glowed with a brilliant blue light. The cloud expanded to fill the whole circle, becoming a pillar of darkness. Trixie stared in apprehension as the pillar began to fluctuate, shrinking and jerking into a tall bipedal form before it doubled over. Then, with a loud sneeze, the cloud dispersed, leaving a bipedal skeleton in a deep purple robe. Trixie was shocked at the skeleton bent down and inspecting the circle. After a moment, he clapped, the hard clack of bone on bone startling Trixie as it spoke.
Excellent! This is the best summoning circle Rhaegar has seen in a few centuries! Of course you forgot a portion of it.
With that, he simply took a step out of the circle with a bony grin.
Rhaegar doesn't know why ponies always forget the physical half. While Rhaegar is indeed a mighty lich and uses many spells, he can still walk.
Trixie continued staring for a moment before stomping down her hoof.
This is not how this is supposed to go! You're supposed to stay in the magical circle and challenge Trixie to a battle of wills so she can become your student. Not just walk out willy-nilly!
Rhaegar paused to consider that. He tapped his chin thoughtfully.
Well, Rhaegar could do that, but Rhaegar could also just take you on as his student after a simple game.
Trixie stared in shock.
This is the creature that can cast some of the most powerful spells on Equests,
she thought, trying to match him to any of the famed spirits in history.
He acts like an overexcitable schoolteacher.
She ignored this and took a leap of faith.
Of course, the great and powerful Trixie shall play this game of yours. Prepare yourself for the greatest loss that you have ever received, Rhaegar.
She pointed her hoof to Rhaegar, who successfully looked confused despite his blank face. There was a moment of silence as Rhaegar stared, before a small light appeared in his eye sockets, and then he doubled over in uproarious laughter.
Yeah, how would Rhaegar lose? Rhaegar just needs a barbarian for his weekly 0-0 game. Since his Black Sun's campaign, we're missing our normal fighter, but it's fine if you want to be something else though. Rhaegar doesn't mind.
Trixie stared in abject horror.
A mage of outstanding talents playing a children's game? Why would Trixie lower herself to that?
Rhaegar let out a few rattles from his jaw.
Because it's fun! Of course Rhaegar thinks you should have a challenge first.
He began to pace back and forth.
Rhaegar knows of many ruins that have artifacts that would be of interest if he had the time to collect them.
Rhaegar snapped his fingers.
Oh, of course! The sunken ship of dangerous dance!
He turned to Trixie.
If you can recover the treasure Rhaegar knows is there, he will show you the way to his lair and teach you his dark and mysterious ways.
Trixie found herself back on familiar footing. Some demons required a test before they would help after all. Rhaegar must be no different.
Oh, Trixie can do that easily. You will be amazed by the skills and spells of the greatest showmare in Equestria.
Rhaegar clattered his teeth, and then waved his hand, conjuring a cloud of dark smoke that solidified into a map.
Here is a map to the wreckage. If you follow it carefully, Rhaegar is sure that you can reach it.
As Trixie reached for it, Rhaegar held up a finger.
One moment, little pony. Rhaegar has 2 more tools for you.
He placed the map on the floor before more dark smoke came from his hands. It dispersed to reveal a necklace as well as a small ribbon. He put both besides the map.
The ribbon will help you by keeping the eyes of Rhaegar upon you, as well as letting Rhaegar record your adventure for posterity. The necklace will let you breathe underwater.
Trixie flinched at the eyes of Rhaegar's comments, which Rhaegar noticed. He picked up the ribbon and waggled it with his fingers.
Of course, Rhaegar would not want to watch any personal moments. If you wish to have your privacy, simply remove the ribbon, and Rhaegar will be blind to your quest. Keep it on once you are underwater, though. Rhaegar will be able to help if it gets too dangerous.
Trixie seemed mollified and floated the objects before her, before looking at the map. After a moment, she glared at it.
Do you seriously expect Trixie to believe that there's the sunken ship in the Ponyville Lake?
Rhaegar nodded.
Yes, Dangerous Dance was an odd mare. She decided no pony would expect a pirate attack while swimming in a lake, and as such built a full ship in the middle. After a few weeks, she grew bored and used it as a storage area and playground. It was then sunk during the harsh storms of nightfall.
Trixie stared at Rhaegar in utter confusion. This strange creature had just talked to her about a pirate ship built in a lake and considered it normal. She let out a whisper before even realizing it.
What the buck?
Rhaegar laughed.
Yes, things were strange in those days. I believe at the time I was learning how to dance with an odd minotaur that was lost in the Minos Caverns. Oh, she was a great teacher.
Trixie just nodded along.
Okay. Trixie's just going to get ready to go if that's alright.
Rhaegar nodded.
Of course, and if you need to speak with me again, just tap the ribbon 4 times. It should allow Rhaegar to speak to you.
With that, he clapped his hands and vanished, leaving a confused Trixie in his wake. It's funny how some individuals have been lucky enough to actually been graced by his presence, but not Celestia. Anywho, let's get on to our quirky donators. Top donators are 630, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, Only One Thing, and Dash of Evergreen. Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rollins, Crazy Color 557, Stu Hex, Sword Brother Mordred, Omicron Library, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Hadzaza, Ridesoul, Maverick, Iron Sky, Badass Waffle, and many more fantastic people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.